Giants, they took down Manchester City in the FA Cup final, and today they have taken down Liverpool, despite Liverpool, of course, having a lot of the ball as we expected. Stevie, as you said earlier on, Crystal Palace showing a very mature way of playing. All right, well, let's welcome in the rest of our teammates, shall we, who are out there at Wembley. Nadim Manua and Frank Leboeuf. Nadim, let me come to you first because, like I said 3 months ago, we were there at Wembley watching Crystal Palace do what they do well, and that is be giant slayers. And here they've done it again today.
You see, Alexis, you didn't need to mention that game. Let's just talk about this one here today.
No, they took down City. I think we should remember they took down City in very spectacular fashion.
Old news. Let's talk about this game. I think what I would say in regards to how you've described it there, in that second half, the possession was nearly 50-50. I think the way that Palace have played today has shown a level of maturity, which maybe is a step on from last season. And I think at times, you know, when we saw them before the game, we thought, well, they've not really had any major signings and so on. Will they be struggling again? Well, not really. I think basically they went toe-to-toe with Liverpool today, and contrary to say that FA Cup final, it never felt like they were holding on, and that means they deserve a ton of credit. And for them to be winning this, I think you can make a good case that they deserved it. I think when you compare how well they played compared to what we sort of expected from Liverpool, I think it was a good game of football. But yeah, I think the bigger chances, the bigger moments ultimately rested with Crystal Palace. So, you know, I think they are deserving winners of the Community Shield.
Yeah, I really think that there was. I didn't hear everything you said because somebody was.
Because you don't listen. It's because you don't listen. But carry on.
But I really think that the best team won overall. As you said, the maturity that Palace showed during that game, where they were patient, that they knew at some point they would get some chances to score, was exceptional. Everybody was spot on. But I would say that Liverpool were short on, I think, physically. They couldn't go up, they couldn't finish the job because they were maybe 1 week short physically talking.
Yeah.
So we see next week.
I think in reality, we had this conversation before the game. If you lose, you can say it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you win, as we've seen with Palace, this is their second major trophy in 100 and so years, however long it's been. But from a Liverpool perspective, yes, they have lost, but there have been some positives in there. I think Frimpong getting off the score sheet, said the fans get a chance to see their team play at Wembley, and I thought Ekitike did really well.
He did really well. He scored his first goal for his first game, and I talked to him after the game, and he said that he was very upset because he said they put us asleep. We couldn't react, and we fell into their trap and the way they play and how they know how to play. And it was the same with Manchester City for the FA Cup final. They couldn't react, and well done and hat off to Crystal Palace because they played chess and they won the game.
I think if you look at Frank's point about Liverpool being clearly not there physically, I think all you have to do is look at Virgil van Dijk. I mean, if ever you could see somebody wasn't quite 100%, it was his performance today. Not just the fact that he gave the penalty away and he made a bad decision, but everything he did was just a little off. You know, even simple passes, he was putting it on the wrong foot.
You still expect Liverpool to be able to deal with that some way?
Yeah, I would agree. And I think in regards to, say, Van Dijk, we'll probably make the same sort of point about Mo Salah today. When you think about how he's usually so involved with them in terms of how they attack and so on, he was quiet today. Yeah. And even the penalty itself, we're not used to seeing him miss penalties like that, if miss penalties at all. So I think that does make a difference. And I think for Palace, one thing that they're definitely going to be is fit. I think last year with Glasner, you hear the talk about it's all about sprint. It's the high intensity running like Munoz on that right-hand side. The distance that he covers, that they put you under pressure. So I think ultimately, for the way that Palace played, they do test you. And in these conditions here, maybe it suited them a bit more. And as well, from a Liverpool perspective, there's so many new faces who are on there, and they're trying to learn. Like for Van Dijk, maybe he's jumped out because he expected his left back to come inside. Well, this time it's Kirkez, and Kirkez maybe hasn't been doing that. Or maybe it was Robertson. Some of those relationships and timing, it's a little bit off. And it will get better. And I think it's fair to say that the best performances that teams put out very rarely comes at the start of August in any games that they play. So the rustiness is there, and it's just a shame that for all these other teams playing their last pre-season game, they can do it in a place which is safe. But to come here to Wembley and to lose and to see a team lift the trophy, you know, it feels like it matters that little bit more, which is a shame from them.
Well, let's get some more post-match reaction now. Both you and Stevie mentioned Virgil van Dijk. Well, he got to speak with him. Think of what Virgil van Dijk had to say there. As he said, not the best start, of course, with the loss today, but Liverpool do have something that's very strong, whether it was under Jurgen Klopp or Arne Slot, and that's their mindset.
I can feel the disappointment, but I think it was very clear that he was very happy to have the new players. He was even wishing the best for the former one, the one we left. And I think he was having a captain, a skipper speech in a way that he knows that Liverpool didn't give the best game ever, and they are concerned about the result, because also you have to be professional. You have to understand people. They came over. Fans came over, like maybe 40,000 fans from Liverpool came over. So you have to show your disappointment. You cannot show that it's not very important what happened today. It is important, but you have to erase that tomorrow. Start, and as he said, we still have some work to do. We still want to go do better, and of course we're going to take game by game. I 100% agree with him. That's not a big deal. It's a deal. It's not good, but it's not a big deal. No, just see what's going on tomorrow.
I totally agree, Frank. And I think in regards to the way that he is a captain, he's understanding of the moment, as you've mentioned. Sure. But he's never too up and too down. I think he understands what it takes to win a Premier League season and to be successful, you know, to win a Champions League and so on. And so he's not going to be too flustered by it. Sure. I think there's a tendency when we're outside of that group to overreact to certain things. How did this person play? How did that person play? And so on and so forth. But as he said, the real business starts on Friday, playing against Bournemouth to open their Premier League season as champions. I think he will understand how difficult it will be to retain that title. And as I say, he's not going to be too up, not going to be too down. And when you've got leaders like that, I think you managed to speak to Ekitike. And what was he saying about the culture at the football club, for example?
No, he said that since in there, he feels a family. He said what it is with Liverpool. He said, I always heard about that, and Stevie mentioned that a lot. It's a special club. And he says, since I first came to the dressing room, I feel that I've been there for forever. And he said, I'm so upset because I wanted to get the first trophy. I wanted to get a silverware for the fans, for the club, for himself. So he's very upset. So he says he's hungry, so which is very good for the future.
Yeah, we do love to see that hunger. Although, Stevie, why are we making up your face with what Frank had to say? Ekitike is speaking wonderfully about your former club.
Oh, it was nice. It was the face of I understand exactly, and I think the way Virgil van Dijk handled that interview isn't a surprise, and you can see why the culture in the dressing room at Liverpool is the way it is. Because when the guy in charge, because he's pretty much the guy in charge, other than the manager, when he's as cool and calm, not flustered, understands it, is disappointed, all the things Frank said, when you are the guy in charge, you're going to pass all of that down to your soldiers, basically. And so now they're going to understand, yes, we're disappointed, but you know what, we know we need to get better. And the only way we get better is both individually and as a group and as a unit. And so, great interview, no surprise. There's a reason why he's captain Liverpool to Champions League and Premier League.
Well, you have said it on the show all week that you're definitely not judging Liverpool based on what you saw today, but you are going to start judging them from what we see in their first 3 games at least. And you said you would happily take a loss today if they win against Bournemouth on Friday. Yes. But I want to fast forward to that game against Newcastle as well as the game against Arsenal, Stevie.
Well, that's unfair because right now Newcastle shouldn't even be on Liverpool's radar. It may be on ours, and obviously we're looking at it from a guy called Isak.
Yep.
Just so happens to be at Newcastle. So yeah, that's a tester. I can't imagine he's going to have anything to do with the game because he clearly hasn't played any football. He hasn't trained properly. So even though that game is coming up pretty quick, because it's coming up pretty quick, I don't think Isak will be involved in it at all. I don't even think he'll be at the game. That's how I think he will definitely have to handle it that way.
All right, well, we cannot wait for those games indeed. But we've mentioned this a couple of times that Frank got to speak to Liverpool's new signing, Hugo Ekitike. He is Frank Leboeuf World Cup winner, in case anybody forgot. The man has friends in high places, and look at him. Hugs and all. Oh, my days, Frank. Tell us about that.
Oh,
you got a shirt too, Frank. A Liverpool shirt.
Yeah, a Liverpool shirt. That will worth a lot, you know, with the first goal and everything. And yeah, I'm very happy, you know. I said to him, in fact, I'm sure you don't want to keep that shirt because you lost the game. And I say, can I have it? And he say, yeah, okay, I'll bring it to you. And he did it very nicely.
So
we had some talk. I said, No, but I told him, you see, Hugo, you know, the first time that I played a community shield, because in fact it's a community shield, not a charity shield.
Of course.
The first time I played a community shield, I lost on penalties against Manchester United. And 4 years after, I won it against Manchester United. And I won 8 titles after that. So that's not the end of it. That's when I talk to him. I say, you score the first goal. It's going to give you confidence. So carry on and be happy to be there. Yeah, be unhappy to lose that game, but tomorrow, erase that. And we had a very nice talk together. And I also talked to Ibrahima Konate, him to congratulate him about his career and what he does with Liverpool and France. But I'm very happy for Hugo. I really hope he's going to score more goals, except against, of course, Chelsea.
The Frank Leboeuf Show, everybody. The Frank Leboeuf Show.
The Frank Leboeuf Show.
He nearly broke his arm patting himself on the back there.
Oh, Stevie, don't get me started. Ridiculous.
Nearly broke his arm patting himself on the back there, just in case anybody forgot all of Frank Leboeuf's accolades. But listen, when a World Cup winner asks you for your shirt, by all means, give it. I'm glad we didn't play Ekitike, that clip of Frank criticizing his time at PSG, though. I'm not sure he would have given you his shirt there. But Nadim, you also have friends in high places, and your boy, Eberiche Eze, won. Yeah, he missed a penalty, but where's your free shirts?
Well, I think the difference is because he won, he wants to keep hold of his shirt. So respectfully, I'm not going to ask for it. Whereas Frank knows that Ekitike probably doesn't want that shirt. So, you know, it's easy to get hold of.
It's what I say. And you know what? I didn't criticize Hugo. No. I made a point of view which is absolutely different. And I told him, I said, it was very different for you. It was a unfair competition with Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe.
Anyway.
And you couldn't find your place.
Anyway,
but
back to the original question.
He has no excuse.
Back to the original question.
Yeah.
Like, I think to give.
Did you kiss
just
Eze
relax. Not yet.
Okay. Not
I
yet.
think when you talk about Eze in that game, I think you can see the maturity that he's shown across the years, and you can see why teams like Arsenal and others are so keen to bring him in.
Yeah.
Because his ability to he's working hard, but you can see his quality, like the ball that he played into the box, which could have been given as a penalty, the handball. You know, he has an eye for a pass, and also you can't really get the ball away from him. And for me personally, to see how he's developed year in, year out, and the opportunity that he's getting, he's a star for this team. And yes, you know, you want Palace to maybe buy more players and so on, and maybe he'll leave. But I think he's got another gear to find. And if he finds that, whether it's in Europe with Palace or somewhere else, you know, I'll be more than ready to watch it.
For the first time today, I can agree with you on that.
You know, boys, I guess I'm probably not alone here. Towards the end of the game, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, you know what? Eze deserves to be on a team that's actually going forward more. It's fantastic he has the work ethic, along with the star quality that he will chase back and he will challenge and he will get in position. But the mere fact that he's not getting as much of the ball as he would if he was playing on a Liverpool or a Bayern or whoever, one of those teams, I think Eze has to go and get on a team that is challenging for the top awards, because he has too much ability. And as I said, it's great that he has the attitude to defend the way he does. You know what? I want to see Eze up the other end. I want to see him dripping the shoulder and going inside the way he did today and getting opportunities to score goals, as opposed to, you know, most of the game just working out.
Yeah, well, if Crystal Palace against Liverpool wasn't big enough of a treat for you, guess who we got for you? Craig Burley himself, outside
the
of
Mayor
studio.
of London is here.
Craig, I have heard that you have been kissing babies, you have been shaking hands, you have been hugging.